wasn't supposed to talk about this. But once you've read what I've read, heard what I've heard, you can't pretend it never happened. This story came out of nowhere. It wasn't a headline from a big network. It wasn't a report from a detective. It started as a post. Her post featured a black and white photograph of a square-jawed man sporting black-rimmed glasses, a sports coat, and a tie. A Facebook post from a woman named Galina Treffel. And what she claimed stopped everyone in their tracks. A month ago, a woman from California's North Coast shocked the internet, claiming, "I am the daughter of a serial killer. Not just a killer, but the most prolific serial killer in American history. Maybe even the world. Over 400 victims." She said her father, an 86-year-old psychiatrist named John Charles Treffel, was a serial killer. That number hit like a lightning bolt across social media. 400. That he may have even been part of that story. Documents. Proof. She claimed her father told her everything. She said she found her father's journals in a suitcase. That she recorded conversations with him where he confessed to the killings. A retired psychiatrist, practiced in Mendocino County. Lived in the area for years. And yes, he had access. 2 people. That's how she got to over 400. She said he used poison strychnine specifically. Then he drugged them, killed them, buried them. She said he preferred suffocation, strangulation, and poisoning over stabbing or shooting. Confessions. Detailed notes of the murders. Even codes and maps. She said she recorded her father talking about it, but the recordings were fragmented, sometimes just sounds, mutterings. Still, she insisted, the truth was there. She believed he targeted hitchhikers, addicts, vulnerable women, the forgotten people, to knowledge, to chemicals. She even named specific locations: Conch, Albion, Westport, Navarro. The people he murdered. The places he buried them. The others like him he worked with. Her story named secret burial sites. Described poisonings. Nothing. Galina even described going into one of these cabins and finding what she believed to be a makeshift operating room. A kill room. But no one wanted to uncover the truth, because it would shake the country to its core. That her father didn't work alone, that there was a ring, a network of serial killers operating together. She called it the Syndicate. At first, they searched several properties, including those so-called cabins. They even obtained a warrant to get John Treffel's DNA. She even implied he had ties to the Zodiac killings and the Santa Rosa hitchhiker murders, cases still unsolved. They collected evidence. Claimed bodies were hidden near cabins along Highway 20 in Mendocino County, California, an area known for twisted roads, fog, and more than its share of chilling disappearances. TikTok users began driving out to the cabins, filming themselves exploring the ruins. People were hunting for bones, searching for clues. And in one cabin, supposedly used for torture or murder, they found something that changed the tone of the investigation. Maybe this is how she's processing that pain. Maybe these are metaphors twisted into memories. She said she had recordings. Just ruins, old cabins, junk. That she's brave. That her father confessed to her because he knew dementia would protect him from consequences. On the other, you have a woman who claims to have spent her entire life hiding a monster in her own home. Galina described places like the 13 Curves, a stretch of winding forest road said to be haunted even before this. She said he talked about working with other serial predators. Said he knew who the Zodiac Killer really was, and be buried as a grandfather, a doctor, a decorated member of the community. And no one would ever know. The strychnine bottle? Never opened. The journals? Disjointed, inconsistent. And the so-called confessions on tape? Mostly moaning. Some believe she made it all up for attention or worse, for book sales. No match, no link. His DNA is stored in the system. If any future cold case turns up a match, That changes everything. There were syringes, vials, dried bloodstains, but when tested, they didn't match any known victims. The blood was animal. Incoherent responses. Not a single clear admission. The results came back. At first, people didn't believe her. How could they? But then, it started spreading. Like wildfire. The idea of a secret killer, hiding in plain sight for decades, retiring peacefully while carrying the weight of hundreds of deaths. People couldn't look away. We all just looked away? This could be the biggest missed crime story in American history. So what do we actually know? Her father, John Truffle, was a real person. Galina says the killings began in 1965 and didn't stop until 1999. One victim a month. According to her, he would lure them offering help, shelter, counseling. She said he buried most of them himself, sometimes behind his cabins, other times deep in the forest, always somewhere remote. She claimed the journals she found were full of patient names. But here's where it gets complicated. The Mendocino County Sheriff's Office received this information over a year ago, in early 2023. They took it seriously. That DNA was tested against unsolved murder cases, specifically those from the 1970s and 80s. The search teams found nothing, no bodies, no forensic trace. It was staged. According to the sheriff, they believe the scene may have been deliberately altered, perhaps even by Galina herself, to support her story. Sheriff Matt Kendall said, and I quote, "We ran it all the way to the ground." Still, Galina continued pushing. She said she was being ignored, silenced. She said they used California as a dumping ground, that her father mentored some of the worst killers in history. On one hand, you have law enforcement. No evidence, no matches, no bodies. That's when things really took off. Podcasts picked it up. Reddit threads exploded. Her posts reached tens of thousands. But law enforcement remained firm. They found nothing. Still, people are split. Galina's defenders say she's blowing the whistle on something real. Her critics say she's unstable. A horror novelist who blurred the line between fiction and reality. Others think it's trauma. Galina has mentioned abuse. Her childhood wasn't normal. Or maybe, just maybe, there's something we're missing. The thing is, serial killers don't usually stop. And if he did kill 400 people, where are they? Where are the bones? Why hasn't a single tip from her story led to a confirmed discovery? Could she have planted those journals? Faked the scene? Or could she have been telling the truth, but simply didn't have the evidence to prove it? It's a chilling thought, that a man could kill hundreds of people in California over decades. As of now, John Charles Truffle has not been charged with anything. He remains free. But until that happens, we're left with a story. A daughter. A father. A suitcase full of secrets. And a question that won't go away. What if she was right? And what if... If you think this is just another internet hoax, you might be right. But if it's not, and maybe, just maybe, there are still 400 souls out there, buried in the California woods, waiting to be found. And one woman shouting into the void trying to bring them home.